Hey everybody, it's John Brown, the Bandana Gamer, coming to you today with a very, very special unboxing video. Today we are taking a look at Limited Run Games Classic Edition of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon for the Nintendo Switch. If you don't know, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon started out as a stretch goal for the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night Kickstarter. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a kickstarted game by Koji Igarashi, known for being a producer of the Castlevania series from Symphony Night onward. Koji is the one who kind of gave the game the more exploring elements. He produced a lot of the Game Boy Advance, not all of them, and I think all of the Nintendo DS games. Like a lot of developers seemed to be frustrated with how Konami was going, and saw the success some of his peers were having going to independent platforms and developing on their own. Saw the success of the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter and decided, hey, I want to give that a shot, and wanted to do a game that kind of was the spiritual successor of Castlevania, since Konami didn't seem willing to do any more with the franchise. So this was a really, really interesting Kickstarter. There were a lot of stretch goals. There was a lot of interaction with the base as it continued to grow. And they almost kind of gave it a video game feel of unlocking achievements daily that if you backed, you fell, you kept in line with. They sent you emails regularly, and it kind of gave a sense of excitement to the community as a whole. Since the Kickstarter's wrapped, of course, communication has died down as they focused on development. We've gotten things here or there. It's been Ritual of the Night has been delayed a few times. Now, one of the stretch goals they offered in the beginning was a prequel game. The prequel game was set to be released on Nintendo 3DS and the PlayStation Vita, and it was to be developed by Inti Creates. And it was very much in line with the game they did, Mighty Gunvolt. Staying away from the debacle that was the Mighty Number 9 thing, there was a good thing to come out of it. Inti Creates did a 8-bit style Mega Man-esque game called Mighty Gunvolt. It was kind of a demake support game for their Gunvolt series, which is an awesome 2D action platforming game. And it really felt a lot like the original Mega Man games, and they were able to put the Mighty Number 9 character. It is the best use of the Mighty Number 9 character. The game eventually got a sequel, Mighty Gunvolt Blast, and that was released on the Nintendo Switch and looked a little more 16-bit. But the idea was they would, if the community hit this stretch goal, that Inti Creates would create a Castlevania-esque Bloodstained game in the 8-bit style, very akin to Castlevania 3. That stretch goal was hit, and things continued on. Not a lot was said about that until about 2018, when they decided to release the game. Now, they changed what platforms it was going to be on. It did not come out on the 3DS, but it did come out on the Vita, did come out on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Now, this wasn't the main game. This was meant more of as an appetizer to hold you over, but it was a great game and had the Castlevania 3 feeling to it. Released digitally, and that kind of seemed like, here it is, and they also announced the release date for Ritual of the Night, the main game, and a couple of demos later for that main game, and it seemed like this game, the whole point was just to keep your appetite down until the main game came out. So this game came out and was loved by many, many people. And so that led to Limited Run deciding to do a print of it, getting in touch with Inti Creates, and getting the opportunity to make a physical edition. Now, they released a standard edition, which came in the standard Nintendo Switch case. And I usually go for that. I'm a Limited Run fan. I have a lot of their games. I love a lot of what they're doing. And I usually pick up the games. But I'm not a collector's edition guy. I usually just I'm cool with the standard edition. When I'm looking at retro games, I'm okay with disc games that don't have cases as long as they're in good shape and I get a good deal. I don't generally need boxes for my cartridge games. I like to play them. I like to have them. But this collector's classic edition really, really spoke to me for a couple of reasons. One, it is really, really reminiscent of the Castlevania 3 box art. And that's very, of course, intentional. The game itself is very reminiscent of Castlevania 3, which is what I'm holding up. And they went an extra step, and they got Tom Du Bois, I believe is his name, is the artist who did the cover for Castlevania 3 and several other games, to do the cover for this game, giving it an even more great Nintendo feel. So as a fan of Castlevania games and just classic gaming in general, I just fell in love with this, and I had to pick it up. Now, this version does come with some extras, and so let's get into it and see what's going on with this edition. Of course, first, this top part is a slipcase, so it's a cardboard slipcase on top of a cardboard game. So we have something, doesn't have the Switch stuff, has a limited run sticker right there that kind of looks very much like the Nintendo seal of approval. Of course, we have the back, very Nintendo-esque. So let's go ahead and be very gentle because I kind of want to keep all this together and put it back up. Alright, so there's paper materials. Alright, so we have a poster. I'm going to unfold and I'll do pictures of everything. This is a Curse of the Moon poster. I'm trying to be very gentle. Double-sided poster. So on the first side we have the kind of standard cover for the Nintendo Switch edition of Curse of the Moon, and on back we have a very large version of Tom Du Bois' cover that is reminiscent of Castlevania 3. That is just really cool art all around. I'm going to be very careful. This folds back up fairly easily. That basically just me dropping it. And let's see, there's some more things. Let's see. Of course, the main draw is the Switch edition of Curse of the Moon, or Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, with another cover. See if there's anything else in this. Oh, I love this. I love this. To fit over the Limited Run game, the game itself is a dust sleeve, very similar to what used to come with Nintendo cartridges, that says Limited Run. That's a really cool addition. And let's see if there's anything else. And the final thing in here is the CD soundtrack, which this game has an amazing soundtrack. I love listening to this music. They do some really cool retro-inspired stuff. And the demo for the main game has actually been some great music. I hope... I'm not big on listening to music on CDs anymore. They're just kind of too flimsy, and I'm kind of always worried about messing them up. So I'm hoping this will be coming out on vinyl, as well as the main game's soundtrack as well. So that is the classic edition of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. I encourage everyone to check it out. You can check it out digitally on the eShop, or check eBay for the limited run pressing. It is a great game, and I'm really, really excited to play the next chapter of Bloodstained when Ritual of the Night comes out for Switch, which got the Kickstarter version of that, and so we'll be doing an unboxing on the channel when that comes out. I want to take a moment and say thank you to everyone who watched. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, and if you enjoyed this type of content, please make sure to hit the subscribe. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.